let us proceed with case number 4. We are still in product tangent and secant. So what will happen in case number 4? This is when your tangent is odd power. Okay, please remember, when your tangent is odd power, you need to follow case number 4. So let's do this. Make sure you split tangent x secant x factor. Make sure you have tangent x secant x in your integral here. And then let's use the trigonometric identities. Tangent squared is equal to secant squared minus 1. Okay, and after you have changed this, let u equal to secant x. So if you follow this step, inshallah, you can solve this type of case 4. Now let us focus on this example here. This is for sure case number 4. Why? Because this is tangent and secant in one integral. And you can see here that your tangent is odd power. So your tangent here is cubic. Alright, so what we need to do is we need to split so that we have the factor of tangent x secant x. So let's split this cubic here. So this is tangent squared theta over 2, tangent theta over 2. And you can see here that the next factor here is secant cube. We need to split this also because we need to prepare for tangent x secant x. Here we only have tangent x. We don't have secant x yet. So let's split this. Secant cube theta over 2 is secant squared theta over 2 multiplied with secant theta over 2. And just rewrite back your d theta. So here, this is very clear to us that you have successfully prepared to split the factor of tangent x and secant x. So let's take it and put it at the end here. And rewrite back tangent squared theta over 2, secant squared theta over 2, and this is your tangent theta over 2, secant theta over 2, and rewrite back your d theta. So we have followed this step here. We have split them. So next, let's use tangent squared x is equal to secant squared x minus 1. So this is your tangent squared x. Let's take this and let's change it in terms of secant squared x minus 1. So tangent squared theta over 2 is secant squared theta over 2 minus 1. Okay, we have prepared according to what is given here. Then, let's see here, we need to let u as secant x. So let's do this. Let u as secant theta over 2. So let's differentiate. Du over d theta is just secant x tangent x. Secant theta over 2, tangent theta over 2. Don't forget, you need to further differentiate inside function. This is chain rule. So further differentiate inside is just 1 over 2. So now you get du over d theta. Then let's find what is your d theta. So d theta is just cross multiply this, exchange its place. So d theta is just 2 du over secant theta over 2, tangent theta over 2. So this is what we want. This is very important because we want to cancel out the factor tangent theta over 2, secant theta over 2 that we have just prepared just now. So now let's rewrite everything in terms of u. So this is what we have changed earlier. This is just u squared. Secant squared theta over 2 is just u squared. And the factor that we need to cancel out, just rewrite it back. And for d theta, let's just cut and paste this. Okay, so now you can see that this is the same function. So you are ready to cancel out. And then now let's focus on what is left. Okay, so let's do this. This is 2, just take it out, integrate, and this is u squared minus 1 in bracket, and this is u squared, and this is just du. So now you're ready to integrate, but first let us expand this. So this is 2 integrate u to the power of 4 minus u squared du. So now we are ready to integrate. Let's add 1 to the power, divide by new power. So 2 outside, in bracket, u to the power of 5 over 5 minus. This is just u to the power of 3 over 3. And don't forget to write plus c. So finally, let us back substitute our value of u is equal to secant theta over 2. And let's expand this to inside. So for the first function here, this is just 2 over 5. secant theta over 2 to the power of 5 minus, this is 2 over 3, secant theta over 2 to the power of 3 plus c. So this is your final answer. So don't forget, if you find this type of case, which is tangent is odd, we need to split the power until we get tangent x secant x, like this. And then we need to use identity. When you have tangent squared x, let's change it to secant squared x minus 1. And don't forget to write let u as your secant x. If you follow this guideline, inshallah, you can find the answer. So that's all for discussion case number 1 and number 4. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.